Welcome to my studio. So this is the third brief discussion we're going to have on the process of painting, the creative process. The first two, I talked about the mental concept. You have to have the thought before you can have the process. You have to have a thought about the process. For example, if I'm out in my garden one evening and this beautiful sunset comes along, I run into the house and grab my easel and come out and paint. The thought, the concept is, oh, I want to capture this sunset. It's beautiful. I want to convey this to someone else. So there's the thought. The process is me going in, grabbing the easel, and coming out to paint. So we've talked about having the thought, having the concept, and doing the process. For example, standing to paint, how we hold the brush, how we place the palette, these things. Now we're going to combine these two into the creative process. That's the result. Focus on the process. The process is key. That is the act of painting. Think about the brushstroke. Think about why you're making the brushstroke. I've seen so many students when I've taught workshops mindlessly just kind of daub paint on their canvas. Well, when you mindlessly daub paint on your canvas, it looks mindless. You know, your brushwork should be thought. It should be, you should be in the moment. Be in the process. Talking about the process, we don't want to focus on the product. This is the product of the process. We don't want to focus on that. You want to focus on the process. The product will happen. If you focus on the product while you're trying to paint, it interferes. It gets in the way. You're not going to paint as well. You know, it's also if you're thinking about, well, I got to make the car payment and the kids do this and, oh, I got to do this with the dog. While you're painting, you're not in the moment. You're not painting. You're not in this constant, you have to be in the thought. Painting, I paint now maybe 3 hours, 4 hours a day because I'm old. And that's all I can concentrate now. You know, I have to stay in the moment. You have to think about the brushwork. Don't worry about the damn product. Enjoy the act of painting. Okay, this painting I've got up, I want to talk about a little bit. I did this painting in 1975. I was a junior as a painting major at the Kansas City Art Institute. And this is probably one of the first, what I would consider proficient paintings that I had done. And I'd worked on it about 3 weeks. My professor, Wilbur Newald, who was the chairman of the painting department, check Wilbur out. He's still alive. He's in his 90s. He lives in Kansas City. He's kind of a fixture in Kansas City. He's a pretty well-known artist in the region and was a child prodigy and studied under Thomas Hart Benton. And so Wilbur's quite a guy. But he was the one who set the still life up and had me paint it. I'd worked on it for about 3 weeks. And Wilbur came in one day and he said, well, so Michael, what do you think? And I said, well, Wilbur, I think I'm starting to get it. You know, I'm getting there. He said, yeah, I think so too. He said, but do you think it's done? And I said, yeah, I think it's close to done. He said, do you see the problem with it? And I said, well, what? And he said, well, actually it needs to move over about 3 or 4 inches. The composition is to the right a little too far. And it's a 24 by 30. And I said, okay, can I just chop it down to 22 by 28 and move it and recompose it? He said, well, yeah, you could do that. But he said, that's not what I want you to do. And I said, so what do you want me to do, Wilbur? He said, I want you to paint it out and move it over about 3 or 4 inches. And so I was a little irritated at this. You know, this is one of the better paintings I'd ever done. And now he's telling me to destroy it to redo it. And so I said, why? Why do you want me to do it? He said, Michael, is this product, this thing of your process, your creative process, is it more important than the process, than you getting better and you learning? And I said, no, it's part of my evolution. He said, exactly. He said, therefore, this product is not that relevant. What's more relevant is your progress, your learning, your ability to make things better, to improve upon yourself. So I painted the painting out. If you'll notice, it's got lots of cracks and fissures in the paint. It's kind of falling apart. For a 45-year-old painting, it should last longer. But I violated one of the supreme cardinal laws of oil painting, fat over lean. And that means more oil over less oil is okay. When I reblocked this in, I went back to less oil, a turpentine wash, and blocked it in and built over again. And what happens is it doesn't bond. But this is a whole other discussion. The materials and techniques and media, that's a whole other discussion that we'll get into down the road somewhere. I think our next talk, I think we should talk about painting, beyond this now, the concept, plan painting versus direct painting. These are two very general ways that painters paint, and very distinct. And if you're not familiar with the terms, think about it a little bit. Plan painting versus direct painting. And have a good day, and I hope this gave you some insights. God bless and take care.